Hi, my name's Lindsay and I'm an English teacher, but also a materials writer. I've been writing materials now for coming up to almost 20 years. And when I started writing materials, there was no guidebook to writing materials. You just sort of wrote materials, worksheets, eventually books and online materials based on what you knew and what you saw out there. So I was really happy when John Hughes and Pavilion asked me to join them in creating a handbook of materials writing. So the ETP Materials Writing Handbook was the book that I wish I had had when I began my career in materials writing. It contains more than 500 ideas for creating materials. Everything from the nitty-gritty sort of reasons why you may want to write materials, key terms that you need to know for getting into it, to like the nuts and bolts of writing a gap fill or writing a grammar exercise or doing a multiple choice exercise. So this is useful not only for those of you who want to get into materials, the world of materials writing, but if many of us already write materials, you write it for your classes, you write it for the school, maybe you write exams or tests, maybe you're creating some things online. Whatever you're writing in terms of materials, anytime you're putting fingers to keyboard, there'll be something in here to help you. So I wanted to share with you, though, one of my favorite parts of the book. Each page is divided into 10 ideas, right? So we've got 10 ideas on recording your listening dialogues, 10 ideas for selecting a reading text, 10 sentence transformation type exercises and questions. So I wanted to choose one page from this book that's one of my favorites because it's one of the first things that teachers begin to write when they start writing materials, which be writing a worksheet or exercises for a song. So using a song in class is always fun. Students will often like doing something with a song. And for a beginning teacher, the idea might be just, well, listen to it, I guess. Then you might move up to sort of, well, maybe I'll make a gap fill. So I'll have the lyrics to the song and I'll gap out certain words. But there's lots of other things that you can do with songs. In fact, there are 9 other things from the gap fill that you can do. I'm going to go through them right now. So the first one is the gap fill. So, just take keywords out of the song and give them the lyrics with the gaps. They have to listen and complete, or they try to complete the gaps first, then they listen and check. We'll come back to the when you play the song in an activity because there's ways of doing it that's quite interesting. The second one is ordering. So you take the verses of a song and you jumble them up. This is particularly good if the song tells a story. Like there are some songs which kind of narrate a story. So you jumble up the verses and get them to put the verses in order, and then you listen and check afterwards. Another one that I like to do is I take the lyrics and I highlight a bunch of words so the students can see the highlighted words, and some of them are correct and some of them are incorrect. So as they read through the lyrics, they have to decide, is that a correct word? And they may be looking for cues of like, does it rhyme with the other word in that verse, or is it the same as the chorus was before? So they decide if those are right or wrong, and then they listen and check. And another one is 2 variations on this one. You take the lyrics of the song, you choose keywords, and you make them wrong. So you change them to words that sound the same or that mean the same, but they're wrong. And so they have to listen and correct the words. Another alternative to that one is instead of making them incorrect, you put them in the student's own language if you're teaching a class where everybody speaks the same language. So you sort of plant the words and then they have to go through, find those words and try to figure out what the translation would be to make it fit. Another one that you could do, again with a song that sort of tells a story, is you take the lyrics, but you make it into a paragraph so it looks like a reading. And you give the reading a title, maybe the title of the song, and then you do that activity as a reading. So you maybe add 1 or 2 comprehension questions or vocabulary questions. And you give that out as a reading without saying that it's a song. Now, if the students know the song, they'll guess. But if they don't, a great way to finish that activity is then say, this reading is actually a song, and you play the song, and it's a really nice moment in class when everyone has been reading something, assuming that the story is like a story, and then they realize there's a song for them to check afterwards. I think you can also do a song as a pronunciation activity. You take the rhyming words from the song, like splashes and ashes, maybe 2 words in a song, and you have other ones, hair and bear or whatever, and you put them all on the board or or you project them all jumbled up, and students have to find the matching pairs of words. So which word sounds like the other words? Then you give the gap fill where they have to complete it with the matching pairs of words that they've done, and then they listen and check. Another one is to create a vocabulary exercise. So you take like some keywords from the song and you put the definitions. You just give the definitions, not the keywords. Then they have to go through the song, find words in the song that match the definitions that you gave them. And that's the way that you sort of make the song into teaching vocabulary as well. Another one is you take a song and you get the students to change the lyrics to make their own version. So for example, I was doing this with the song, These Boots Are Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra. And then, they did that song, we did a kind of gap fill understanding, and then they had to write their own where it was like, these blank are made for blanking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these blank is gonna blank all over you. So they're making their own version of the song, and then they check afterwards. 2 more. Cross out the extra word. Take the lyrics of the song and each line add an extra word, like a preposition, or double up an auxiliary verb, or an extra article, or 2 adjectives instead of 1. They listen and they have to cross out the word that they did not hear. So this is a sort of difference on the gap fill. Now they're crossing out extra words. Finally, the last thing you can do with a song is part of the song. You can do something with the song, but then give them information about the singer and or the song. So some songs have interesting stories behind them, like how they were written, where they were written, who wrote them, what was the fight between different band members about this song. So include that material about the song as part of the overall lesson. So I wasn't counting these off one by one, but I think there we have 10 ideas of what you can do with a song, taken from the ETP Guide to Materials Writing. Enjoy. Happy writing.